Welcome to the first spring edition of HawkTalk. A lot going on DSU's campus. And we'll hit up on the athletic side a little bit later. My name's Parker Robinson. I'm joined by Nathaniel Easton. But first, we'd just like to start off a big event coming up this weekend with the Blue Hawk Booster Club. We're joined by President Andy Emmerd, I believe. Thanks for coming in, and just tell us a little bit about the rendezvous coming up this weekend.
Well, we appreciate you having us on. It's the biggest event for us as far as with the Booster Club. All the proceeds and donations go towards DSU athletics. It'll be March 25th here, coming this Saturday. The social starts at 5:30. Bronze Distributing, big sponsor for us. They're bringing free beer and alcohol for people.
We're done. That's a wrap.
For the social
We'll
there.
see you there.
And then the actual dinner will start at 6:30, and then we got the silent auction coming on. And this year the silent auction we're gonna do online before the event as well. The Booster Club has worked really hard with people in the community and the members. We're pretty excited about the event with the auction items that we have and the live auction items. So we're pretty excited for this year to come.
With this being the 6th edition, kind of talk about the history, or as much of the history as you know, kind of how this came to be and how the community's kind of really grown to appreciate this event each spring.
Well, I think, you always worry about with events like this and stuff like that it runs its course. With this event and different events within the community, like Charity Ball and different Make-A-Wish Foundation, stuff like that, but the support with the community is so strong here that the items that we get and the different stuff that people bring to the table for this event, I mean, we've made, anywhere from $60,000 to $70,000, on this event to bring to DSU athletics. And like we know with the college here in town, for the town to run, the town needs the college. Sure. And everything like that. And athletics is such a huge part of that student base at the college that we're just happy to be a part of it. And like we said, we can't thank the sponsors enough and the community for how much they give back to us.
Yeah, definitely. Nate and I were both student athletes ourselves, so we definitely appreciate the work you do. What kind of involvement do you do with the student athletes on a year-by-year basis?
Well, I think for us, as far as the Booster Club, we try to get more and more involved, talking to the coaches, different ways that we can help them just as an individual team basis alone, not only going out as a whole, raising for everybody as a whole, but talking to each individual coach, seeing what we can do to help them. And we want that to grow more and more each year so we can know the kids, know the faces, and the kids can know us as well. We don't do it because we want to be raised up on people's shoulders and carried off or something like that, but we understand the importance of the college to the community, and we enjoy athletics as well. So that's the main reason we're out there doing it.
It's been a pretty exciting year. Obviously, what you're doing isn't just to see Dickinson State win conference championships, but that's got to be a fun side effect of the work you've done, knowing how important scholarships are to successful seasons. So what's it been like to follow along with the success of the athletic program?
Well, and it definitely helps us when we're going out talking to people, because when you get excitement around the sports and around everything like that, people want to be at the events. People start following the events. We got local athletes now that are participating, so that's always a big thing for us. But I think the part that's most exciting to us too is when we go out in fundraising, we're having the success and we don't have one program that's fully funded. So we are having success and we haven't even reached the tip of the iceberg, even
Sure.
close, because we still have so much that we can raise and so much money that we can use towards these sports. And it'd be amazing to see if we start becoming fully funded, the athletes that we could bring in and the success that we'd have there.
For clarification's sake, the fully funded thing deals with the amount of scholarships the NAI allows you, or each sport, not you, to give out. Meaning, when we go play a Montana Tech in football, the money they're spending on their football team is quite a bit larger than the money we're spending, for example, and down with the scholarship maximums you're allowed to give out. So it's with the Booster Club. Obviously, you guys are trying to push closer and closer to getting the maximum and the best folks on the field. But I'm sure it's not just you running the shows. Just talk about the folks in the club also that help make your job a little bit easier.
In the involvement, and Josh Dorman will be on here to speak later, and he's chaired the rendezvous here and the work that he's done on this with others like Jason Hoffoff, Nick Stevenson, Nick Dressler, Mandy Erickson, who's the vice president, Aaron Johansson, who's been on forever. And I don't want to leave people out. There's 15 board members and stuff like that, but just the involvement that people have had. It's really nice to have people work like that, and the work that Howard has done before I came on, but also just the work that we've had with the Touchdown Club, the work that we've had with Ty at the BFAA. Everybody's coming together to work for the same goal ultimately, and we're just trying to get scholarships out to these kids. And like I said, without the community, without everybody working together, it could be a difficult thing. We put time and we put hours into it, but it's good to see on the field the success that they have, and hopefully we had a small part in that.
And how did you kind of get involved, and how could others get involved besides just showing up to the events and providing financial support?
For us, I mean, anytime that someone wants to be on the board or shows interest in that, by all means, we look into it and would love any help that we could get. As far as my involvement, I did coach at the college, coached baseball with Dwayne Monlocks there, and then took over as an interim for a while. And so I had a connection to the college. But then just being, a business person in the community, understanding without the college, without local involvement and stuff like that, it's not, even if you're successful without it, you just want to be involved in the community that's around you. So.
Yeah, definitely. What's the best way that someone can reach out to the Booster Club? The website?
The website, through the athletic department, through the BFAA, or they can reach or contact me. My cell phone's 590-4209. They can reach me on my cell phone. If anybody wants to give money, they can reach me.
There we go. Well, make sure you take the opportunity to come on down to the Elks. We'll hear more about the details behind that event, but just one more time, give us the time, the place, and where folks can go.
You bet. This Saturday, March 25th, the social starts at 5:30. 6:30 is the event. We still do have tickets available for the gun raffle. It's a 50 gun raffle. We only sell 500 tickets, so you've got a 1 in 10 chance of winning. A lot of fantastic guns, high-priced guns. I've got a gun list that we can also give out to people that are interested, but tickets are going fast, so we do have some available now, so make sure if people are interested in that, give us a call, and we'll get them a ticket.
Definitely. Thanks for stopping in and giving us the details, and thanks for all the support.
You bet. Thank you.
Yeah, we'll be back after this short break, kind of hitting on that event a little bit more.
Life is full of many successes, achievements, stages. Every year we grow, things change, and pretty soon we realize we want and need to do more. When you're ready for that next step, Dickinson State University will get you there. Find out how at dsublue.com.
Welcome back to Hawk Talk. Still talking about the Blue Hawk Booster Club Rendezvous. We're joined by Josh here, the chair of the committee that kind of planned all of this event. We'll be talking about the different sponsorships that they have and the different prizes. And it's quite a list you've put together, from the guns to even the silent auction. Just talk about all the special things that you're offering.
We've got a huge list of items, but I'd like to share a little bit on how some of this stuff comes about. For instance, one of the live auction items we have are Denver Nuggets court seats. Right behind the players' bench, or the visitors' players' bench. Stephen L. and Schwab give us those tickets. We combine that with some other sponsor dollars and give a $500 travel card with that. But after we started that process, the Denver Nuggets organization actually reached out to us and said they would be willing to help us with that too. So they're providing a swag bag full of memorabilia and signed autographed items. So, and another one would be like, we reached out to Scott Molander. Scott Molander is a former DSU student and athlete here. He started a company called Lids, and made it a $1 million success. Mm-hmm. He's offered to give us 4 suite tickets to the Andretti suite for the Brickyard 400.
There we go.
That includes, meals and drinks and those kind of things. And it also includes pit row and garage access.
Awesome. To
the NASCAR event. So things like that. And then he called me back a couple days later and says, here, I could get you 4 Yankee tickets. And we'll include a $200 shopping spree at the Yankee store. So those are the kind of items that we have in the event.
Yeah, and it sounds like the relationships are what lead to items like that. So kind of as the chair, how nice is it to have that kind of support to where you can make a phone call and one phone call turns into two, and we end up with this list of
And
sweet
it's
items.
tremendous with local businesses also, because Gate City Bank gives us Bison tickets. Newbies Ace Hardware has given us tickets to the UND hockey games. We've also got, well, I've got a pretty long list. I don't want to go through the whole
Oh
thing.
no, that's what we're here for. Get people excited.
But you'll be able to see these auction items on our site, and we're going to go through that here in a minute. But I've got Minnesota Sweet tickets from Two's Construction, Minnesota Vikings tickets from Two's Construction, and these are actual suite tickets at the new stadium for a home Vikings game. We've got progressive dinners. We've got guided fishing trips, guided hunting trips. Tremendous.
All sorts of
Yeah.
stuff.
If you're a sports fan, you're going to love this event.
And like you talked about, there's going to be a different kind of a unique way. I think this is the first time you've tried it with the online bidding or mobile bidding. Is that correct?
Yes, this will be the first time we'll have online bidding for silent auction items, and we've increased the number of silent auction items that we're going to have so that you don't have to be at the event to participate in it. There will also be, if you don't get a silent auction item, you can actually make a donation from your cell phone or your computer after you've viewed the sale items.
Yeah, we got a list of the instructions here. They're pretty simple to follow, especially if you're tech savvy. There's certain numbers you can text to bid. All that information can be found on the Booster Club website, as well as a list of the items. We mentioned some of them here, but not only do you not have to be present to win a gun, you can also now participate in the auction from home as well. So there's all sorts of ways to contribute to the Booster Club, which we talked about the importance of. The main reason we're doing all of this is for the student athletes. So,
And we'll put these instructions on our Facebook page, DSU Booster Club, or the Blue Hawk Booster Club, and we'll also probably put it on the foundation page and whatever page this is on. So.
Yep, we'll definitely make sure you guys have access to all of these items. There are so many great items, but with being, we touched on how you got some of the items, but also the sponsorship for the events. We heard Bronze is making some drinks available. Just touch on the different sponsors that have made this possible.
I'd like to highlight our major sponsors. Our major sponsors are Runnings Outdoors. Of course, they help provide the guns and those kind of things, and then they donate quite a bit. But we've also got Stockman's Livestock, Fisher Industries, Bronze Distributing, R&S Mattress, Scott Molander, Double J Outfitters. So that's just a few of our major sponsors.
Those sponsors make your costs fewer, so more money can go to the student athlete scholarships, right?
Yeah.
And we talked the last segment about how exciting it is to see successful athletic programs. So kind of what's the reason you keep doing this? I know it's got to be a lot of work to put all this together. So what keeps you involved?
The importance of being involved in this is basically importance for the community. The success of the college, the success of the athletic department just helps Dickinson State grow. We have a lot of students or ex-students, ex-student athletes that come here, play ball, and then stick around, start businesses here, start families here. So the importance of the college is super.
Yeah. One of President Mitzel's main points when he got here was building that strong relationship with the community. The college and the community kind of run the same course in a lot of different areas. And with an event like this, you see how much community involvement goes back to supporting the college. So you must be on board with that mission as well.
Yes. And, we've had some hiccups, but, we're moving forward and everything's, we want to create a great success story here.
Yep, definitely. So if you're interested in the event, make sure you go check out, see if you can still get tickets. But if not, make sure you tune in online on your phone. Check out those instructions. Check out the large list of items to look for Saturday night.
We should also touch on a couple homemade items that I've seen. I don't know if it was Coach Leck. He had a picture on the wrestling page. He made a chair out of the old Scott Gym bleachers, the wooden bleachers. He made a chair, and our boss, Ty Orton, has made another one of his woodworking projects where he's put a logo, all the different logos we've had through the era at Dickinson State, and he's put that onto a mobile cooler that lights up, and it's got a bunch of different things. You'll be able to see pictures of that on the DSU Heritage Foundation page, but we'll make sure all this stuff is available to you, and make sure you get the instructions on how to bid. Thank you for joining us.
Yes,
Thank
sir.
you for putting this event together, giving the folks a reason to find a creative, fun way to support Dickinson State University athletics.
Yeah, we'll be right back after this break, kind of wrapping up the winter seasons and moving into spring sports. Welcome back to Hawk Talk. It's been a little while since we touched base with Coach Wetzel, and since then your season ended, but not terribly. You know, you made the run in the North Star playoffs, and you got to be pretty proud of the guys of what they did.
Right. Well, I would agree. It didn't end terribly.
Yeah.
I appreciate you saying that. You know, it humbly speaking, a historic year for the program. 22 wins. The program's been in existence for 93 years. I think Coach Groppe was a sophomore in high school when the program started. It's been in existence for 93 years, and this is only the 8th 20-win season. So, yeah, not terribly is probably a pretty good word. You know, we lost in the championship game. We shared the league title, and the team we lost in the championship game to ended up going on and making the Final Four of the NAI National Tournament. So, yeah, you never want to say a good loss, but it was nice to see someone from our league advance. And it was also, you know, from a program standpoint, going, okay, you know, we did lose the championship game, but we lost to a team that, again, was a knocking on the door of a national championship, who we beat earlier in the year. So it just shows you how close we're getting. You know, that last mile is always the toughest. You know, we covered a lot of ground in this season, but that last quarter mile is the toughest.
With regard to the last loss of the year, you had to earn the right to get to that point. Getting the regular season title, we'll go more into that. But quick turnaround, boom, you're playing a Waldorf team, and then a Jamestown team who smacked us in the mouth a week before. So
Yeah.
touch on the.
Well, you guys
ability
are
to
really
come-
friendly today. Yeah, we got smacked in the mouth by James. No,
But we smacked.
No, yeah, right. No,
That's
it's,
the thing.
we got the last laugh.
Yeah,
if
we
you
stood
will.
over him after.
Yeah, you know, and you guys are seeing it now with March Madness. You know, with the big boys, the D1 guys. You've got to be ready. You've got to stay healthy. You've got to stay persistent. The turnaround in these preps are quick, and that was what it was for us. Is, you know, a formidable opponent in Waldorf.
Who beat Bellevue.
Beat
right-
Bellevue
right
the week
playing
before.
you.
Yeah, you're right. And then turn around and play Jamestown, who smacked us in the mouth the week before.
I
and,
think you said that quote in the
and
paper to me.
did I? And you know, we were able to. I can't remember the score, but it was a pretty handily victory. And then that night, beat Jamestown, and we're up the next morning on a bus along with you. 10-12 hour bus ride to Bellevue. So you want to be playing late, but you know, you've got to be tough, and that's why, you know, again, I can equate it to what's going on now in the NCAA tournament. The tougher teams are going to win in March, and we are fortunate enough to make a little run and you know, finish not so terribly.
Yeah, for those out there wondering, what do you do on that? Is it rest at that point? Is it watch some film? What's the prep on the bus on the way to Bellevue?
A lot of rest. You try to, you know, you don't want them sleeping all day because they just internally mess up their clock. You know, we've kind of dealt with that a little bit, where then all of a sudden you arrive at your destination and they're wired because they've slept 9-10 hours on a bus. So, you know, you try to talk a little bit, you take your breaks, you stop and eat. We've watched film in the past on a bus. We've handed out paper scouts, both. You know, you just try to keep them engaged. But for that last particular road trip, it was such a quick turnaround. It was all about rest, and that was the third time we played Bellevue. So the prep there's always a little bit of prep. I might be a little too much into that sometimes, but you're playing a team for the third time. You just got to go out and try to make plays, make shots, and get timely stops.
As someone who was fortunate enough to be on the bus for that trip, the actual answer is Talladega Nights, the Ballad of Ricky
That's right,
Bobby,
yeah.
was the
That's right.
go-to pregame film.
That's right.
But Coach, with Bellevue making their run and the North Star being a three teams from the North Star made
Sure.
it to the national tournament last year, you've got to feel like that last mile, you're closing in on it with the progress of this team.
Right.
That you got to feel good about a North Star team that shared the regular season title and lost the conference championship.
Oh yeah, there's some momentum. It's bittersweet. Candidly speaking, we should have received an at-large bid, but we had a chance to control our own destiny, and we didn't capitalize on that. So we're not going to sit here and complain. But I'll say it for those exiting 7 seniors. We were a national tournament team,
Sure.
and we should have been. But we had a chance to leave it out of the judge's hands, if you will, and we didn't capitalize on that. So you can't be upset when you were given that opportunity. But we are close. We're a long way away, but we're close. And right now is a vital time. Recruiting is in my opinion, is when games are won and lost, really. I mean,
Sure.
Obviously you got to put some onus on some prep and coaching and all that stuff. I say that a little bit tongue-in-cheek, but right now I like what we return. We return an All-American, we return an All-Conference, 2 All-Conference guys, a decent core, but we've got to go find some good character people with some talent to fill that void, and it's a vital time for us. This portion of, especially at the NAI level, because you're going to see a trickle down effect. You're going to see, right now, again, everyone's expecting Kentucky to call, and that's okay. Young people are dreaming all that stuff, and good for them. But it's persistence and patience and leaning on some of the contacts I might have. That's kind of how it's done at the NAI level a little bit. You got to work the phones a lot. You've just got to stay persistent. And to answer your question, to get to that last quarter mile, people may not understand how important April, May, and June
Sure.
is for the NAI level recruiting. Recruiting's like Gene Katie said this once, and this is my little corny joke for the day. Recruiting's like shaving. If you don't do it every day, you look like a bum. And that's kind of the reality. You know what I mean? It is the lifeblood of any program. Not just talent, but what kind of person you bring into your program. I mean, recruiting in any aspect of, you're running a business, you're running an organization, who you surrounding yourself with. So this is a vital time for our program.
Yeah, so looking forward, like you said, recruiting's kind of the next step in growing towards next year. Where do you kind of go with that? Do you go brush shoulders with Patino and Calipari out there on the trail?
Yeah, that's right. Something like that. Yeah, it's following up on some guys you've already identified. You know what I mean? And to say we just started the process now, no. We've had some guys identified, whether it's at the junior college transfer level, high school level, and even you start paying attention to. I'm more lucky than good, and I've been lucky enough to meet have a pretty solid network of quality people I can call upon and seek advice upon. And that's really what I'm doing, and you're just beating the streets right now. You're turning over every rock because that's the way it is. Not just our level, but any level. So you're it's a combination of identifying it, and then identifying the talent, and then staying persistent to close the deal. I wish there was an exact blueprint to recruiting. There isn't. There'll be we're looking to bring in maybe 5, 6 to 7 guys, and probably 4 of them, I don't know their name right now. And that's just the way it is. So I don't apologize for that. That's the way our level is.
With the 5, 6, 7, however, whatever that
8,
number
9,
is
yeah.
coming in, they've got some teammates, some
Oh,
we talked
sure.
about all conference, all American. Let's go through those honors that some
Yeah.
of the players did receive.
Yep.
Whether they were fully recognized or not,
Yeah,
we'll save for
yeah,
off camera. But
yeah.
we'll talk about the ones that did
It's-
get those honors.
Yeah, I think it's a testament to a team that finished tied for the conference, shared the conference championship and won 22 wins. And you get one first team guy and one honorable mention guy. That must mean we had a tremendous nucleus of role players. You know,
And it wasn't the coach.
Yeah.
No,
Right.
I'm
It
just
definitely wasn't the coach. But you know, Marcus White, he received All-American honors, first team All-Conference. Jerry Shevlin, honorable mention All-Conference. You know, I think we had some other guys, you know, that could have easily been in any of those roles. You know, Gilberto Shogren was top 5 maybe by the end of the year in blocks per game in the country. If there's a better defender in the league or in the area, let me know. You know, I really think, you know, from a defensive player, I think he was one of the best in the league. Reggie Fields, another outgoing senior. I think what hurt him was he was only able to play one semester due to not grades, but due to some I guess a clock issue, if you will.
Sure.
But he was definitely an all-conference type guy. And you know what's best about all this is no one has, and I can say this honestly, no player has come in and even jokingly said, man, you know, what happened, coach? Why didn't I get it? Or they could care less, you know. And even the guys who I text Marcus White, because it was over spring break, hey, you're an All-American, you know, and,
Okay.
you know, okay, yeah, yep, thanks. You know what I mean? It was, you know, his answer would be, well, I've been an American my whole life, you know, yeah, you're right, coach, you know, so that's this group, and I think that's why we were able to experience some success, because it was, you know, we were a balanced team. In my opinion, the most balanced team in the league. You know, I say that, you know, respectfully to other teams, and that's kind of the MO, and that's why it's important, going back to my theme, is we've got to find guys to interject into this thing that can fit that mold and will fit that mold of, hey, the only number that matters is that win column.
I think another part of the large success this year had to do with the growth the returners made. You know,
Oh, sure.
Gilberto
Right.
turned from a solid player to a dominant player. You
Yep.
know, there was growth in almost everyone that returned to the court. So what can you do, or what can they do
Right.
to kick it up a notch?
Yeah, and you're right about the returners this year, how they grew from the experience of last year, and ultimately that's what we're here for, is to get kids better. You know what I mean? Whether it's on the court, in life, in the classroom, and these kids grew up, those returners, from, hey, we had the talent in 2015, 16, and we failed to do these things. Let's not let that happen again. And you saw them make that real change, and that's called becoming an adult and becoming a man, and they did that. So to answer your question, what we do for these kids is it's important, and I think this group will embrace this. You know, you got to stay humble. Yeah, I'll promote the program when the hosts call it not so terrible and got your teeth. No, I mean those
We'll
things.
print the shirt.
Yeah, exactly. But I don't think I'll have a hard time keeping this group humble. That's returning, and I shouldn't have a problem keeping them hungry, because we were one game away from you know, making a run at this thing. So that's the key. Is Dabo Sweeney, the football coach for Clemson, I'm all over the place right now. He made a comment last year when they lost the national championship, and the quarterback they had, the returning, whatever his name was,
Deshaun Watson.
Deshaun Watson. You know, he made a comment. None of those touchdowns carry over. None of those wins carry over, and I've already said that to my guys. You know, we met briefly after spring break, kind of got out of their hair for a couple weeks, and then we recalibrated shortly after spring break, and that was one of the things, you know what I mean? And you separate those seniors, and you just have those 7-8 guys in that room, and it's a different feel. You know, now Marcus White, you're a senior. You know, and I alluded that. I use that example of Coach Sweeney at Clemson. Those points don't carry over. Our 22 wins, we don't get to carry those over. Nobody cares what you did, you know, and I think the more we can hammer that through to the young men and the more they can maintain their humility and hunger, that's what it's going to be. Humility and hunger. It will help us take that step.
Yeah, so recruiting's not the only thing moving forward. Obviously, got a summer to prepare and,
Sure.
and a fall to prepare. What does that kind of look like for the guys? Just getting in the gym, getting shots up?
For the guys or for me? For the guys, hopefully it's about 10 less pounds for me in the summer. But for the guys, they'll be, you know, I was lucky enough when we were at Montana State, we could pay for their summer school and keep them on. And at our level, you know, a lot of them will go home, which is fine because most of them go home to bigger areas where they can play a lot of basketball. They can stay in their routine, and we'll give them some literature for the summer. We'll give them a program, shooting program, weight program, but ultimately it is going to be on them, you know, and that'll see what kind of, you know, hopefully we recruited the right character to remain humble and hungry, and they'll go to work this summer. You know, most of them will go home. Some of them will stay here for a little bit and work, but most of them will go home, and we'll try to keep our pulse on them and give them some programs as they go home to stay dialed in.
Any summer camps for the folks out home?
Yeah, we're gonna have you know, the dates. The dates will be on our website here shortly. They'll be announced hopefully this week. But yeah, all through the month of June we'll be doing camps, all ages essentially. And then the individual skill camps, and then we'll do a team camp for some regional high schools. So it'll be a busy summer.
Perfect. Well, Coach,
Thanks, guys.
it's been
I
fun.
appreciate it.
Thanks for joining
Likewise.
us.
Yeah.
Some advice for you. I'm gonna be gone next year.
Yeah.
Parker expects a lot of wins. So
Apparently.
maybe
Yeah,
ignore
yeah.
his checks if we don't
Yeah.
get those wins. But thanks for Coach Wetzel for joining us. To wrap up the girls' side of things too, unfortunately, they fell just short of a first-round upset against Eastern Oregon. Basically, the 6.5 girls out there gave it their all, cut the deficit to 2 with under 2 minutes to play, but couldn't quite get over the hump. That kind of does it for our fall winter sport coverage, and we've got baseball, softball, track and field, golf, all of that to look forward to in the coming weeks as we round out this school year. So check out dsubluehawks.com for their Coach Wetzel's summer dates, as well as the progress of all the spring sports, and dsuheritagefoundation.org for all the information on the Blue Hawk Rendezvous coming up.